Hey everybody, I know this looks weird, but quick update. I'm doing some testing on different glues to attach the micro stick posts into the bottom of the stick hat, and I've kind of emulated this with some paper clips. This is the same material as the stick hat and stick cup. It's the strong and flexible plastic from Shapeways. Just this piece is from a previous project that's not even related to the mods that I'm doing. So it's the same material, and I drilled some holes in the side and to put the just the tips of the paper clips in, and I'm gonna try to yank them around and pull them out and see kind of which glue holds up. And just so you have reference, what we're dealing with is super glue, what I'm calling quote unquote nice super glue. I like the Loctite gels. The second in spot number 2 is some Weld quick setting clear weld epoxy. Spot number 3 is good old fashioned Weld original, which is the I'm not even sure what it is anymore. It's supposed to be, or it used to be, some sort of metal fragments with a hardener. And then in the next spot, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is a different non-metallic epoxy. This is Loctite Marine. I'm getting this stuff from my Lowe's down here in South Carolina, and this is kind of what they had in stock. I wanted something in the Loctite brand that seemed like it had a longer set time. Oops. And then in spot 5, I've got just what I'm calling CA glue, but it's just pretty standard wood glue. You could probably put just like white Elmer school glue in this place as well, but I think the wood glue probably holds a little better. But those are similar water soluble, air dry type glues. And then in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place, we have Loctite G02, which I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it's a hybrid polyurethane and acrylic. I really don't know. And then in the last spot, which doesn't actually have a paperclip anymore, was the clear Gorilla Glue. This is the new clear that's non-foaming. And maybe if I had used the original Gorilla Glue or the older clear or white stuff that actually foamed, it would have behaved better. But it fell out. I mean, yesterday I picked this up and it fell out. It was very loose, so I'm not really counting that. It didn't seem like it did well at all. Maybe there wasn't enough moisture. I don't know. But most of these had a 24-hour cure / dry time. These have been curing for 48 hours. So that's where we're at. So I'm just going to start messing with them and see how we do. This is the super glue right up here. So you're messing with the joystick. That came out really easy. And so that was just the super glue, the gel. That's very hard. I guess it just didn't bond well to the plastic. It's this clear and flexible plastic from Shapeways is basically sintered nylon. It's a nylon. So here's the JB Weld, the clear weld, which is a quick 5-minute setting epoxy. That's a lot better. I feel like I'm yanking on it pretty hard. I feel like that I felt it crack inside, but it's still in there pretty solid, and I'm working it pretty good. Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, that came out. All right. So that was better than super glue, but still not amazing. Here's the JB Weld original. Let me bend this out of the way. I feel like this is better. I mean, it's still moving. I don't think that any of these are going to be 100% flawless. I'd be surprised if any of these held on to what I'm doing. There's not a lot of material, but I'm putting a lot more force on this. I have a lot more leverage than you would have on that stick. So this, I think, is a pretty good test, and I don't expect any of these, but this is definitely holding on better. Definitely holding on better. All right, so that held on better. So far the winner is original JB Weld. All right, let's try this is the Loctite Marine Epoxy. Oh, that came right out. That's no good. I'm just gonna skip the wood glue and come back to that. This is the Loctite G02. I mean, it's floppy. I mean, I don't think that. Yeah, that came right out. That's really not good. So what we have left is the Carpenter's glue, the wood glue. And that came right out. Okay. So by a large margin, by a wide margin, the original JB Weld was by far the best. I'm gonna do some more experimenting. There's a Loctite metal epoxy that I'm gonna get my hands on that Lowe's didn't have. I gotta try to find it and test it. But that really, this was the best. I'm still a little bit concerned with how well it's gonna hold up. But if you guys have any suggestions for something that I could do, that would be great. Just for reference, I'm gonna show you what we're dealing with here. Get these guys out. So what we're dealing with is this tiny little stick, right? And in the bottom of the hat is it's a tiny little hole. So this is what I was emulating with the paper clips and the strong and flexible plastic that I drilled holes into. I think the saving grace here is going to be that this is a much tighter fit, whereas the paper clips were not. I had to just drill a hole with my power drill, and so I picked the closest size bit. You know, that's not precise. This was printed based on the dimensions of this post, so it's a lot tighter. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. It takes some doing. You know, it stays on its own pretty well, and I think there's a fair amount more material there. I think that whatever glue I use, once it sets inside, I'll do a second application of it outside, and I'm pretty sure that'll hold. So I'll do a little bit more experimentation, but that's where we're at with this now. I decided to do this video just to kind of give you guys an idea of some of the challenges with this mod at this stage. The Xbox 360 style sticks, you may be asking yourself, well, how do those do so well? Well, for one, it's got more meat that goes into the hat, and it's textured nylon, and they typically have a groove that the stick hat can grab onto. This has no groove. I wonder how close I can get this and see if it will refocus. Let me see. I don't think that's going to refocus, guys. Let me see if I can get it. No, that's not going to refocus for me. That's a bummer. Anyways, there's no groove there. There's a half notch, but it's a sheer surface. There's nothing for it to grab onto. So I think maybe if I take some very light sandpaper and rough this up to give it some tooth, make sure that this is very clean on the inside. And then do at least 2, if not 3 applications of either this stuff, or if I can find some Loctite metal epoxy and test that with the paper clips and see how that does versus the JB Weld original. I'll use whatever's the strongest, obviously. But yeah, that's where we're at. Let me know what y'all think. If you have any better ideas, if there's some kind of idea that I'm just not thinking of, or if there's an obvious adhesive that I'm not thinking of. The other reason for me just going to Lowe's is that I'm trying to make sure that I cover the case of somebody doing this mod for themselves and just buying what they can buy. So I'm trying to limit myself a little bit to commonly available supplies. This is common. This is really common. If I can find an adhesive that's commonly available and holds really well in this application, then that'll be kind of the confluence of the best possible outcome. So that's what I'm trying to do. Anyways, thanks a lot. Later.